Come on, here I go.
Welcome to G9ijaTV News Headlines this morning. I'm your regular host, Dr. Champion. How was the night? Hope you slept well. How did the weather treat you last night? And of course, if you're just joining us, if you're a first-time viewer, G9ijaTV News Headlines is there. And of course, we're here to entertain, educate, and enlighten you all over the globe. It's a wonderful weekend is a Friday edition. And of course, today we have amazing news headlines to share with you. But before we do that, our usual morning motivation this morning, we're looking at the topic leadership. Leadership. What is leadership? The concept of leadership has to do with basically three facets, three categories. One, leadership is all about to inspire, it's all about to influence, it's all about to motivate. If you're not inspiring someone, if you're not motivating someone, if you're not influencing someone positively, you are not a leader. We are looking at exemplary leadership here, leadership by example. And of course, leadership by basic definition, according to our dictionary definition, is simply the ability to organize a set of people to achieve a common goal and a common task. Once you have that in place, you are a leader. Once you can organize your thoughts, once you can organize your actions, once you can organize your plans and put them in motion to achieve a common task, a common set objective, you are a leader regardless. And so, my friends, my viewers watching this morning, all we're saying is that in Nigeria, what we desire is exemplary leadership. We want leadership by example. Don't just say something you are not doing. If you are saying to us, do not steal from public funds, please, you should not be stealing. If you are saying to us, do not smoke, then you should not be smoking. Leadership basically is by example, it's not by theory. It's not about doing what I say and not doing what I do. No. Leadership by example is simply saying it and doing it. You say it and you do it. A set of people will say you walk the talk. You're not just talking, you are walking the talk. You are putting into actions the things you are talking about. All right. So, an exemplary leadership this morning, we're saying, especially with the political class, to the political class, we're saying, please lead by example politically. We were speaking to all those holding public offices. Please, our civil servants, our leaders, our senators, House of Representatives, our governors, Mr. President, everyone who has a political leadership position, please, we are asking you to lead by example. And of course, leadership is not just all about politics. You can lead in your area of specialization. You can lead in your company. You can lead in your organization. You can lead in your school. You can lead in your class. You can lead in your church. You can lead in your mosques. Leadership is not just limited to just politics. No, we can move beyond politics and begin to replicate the tenets of leadership in every area of our lives. And so we're encouraging you this morning that you should choose to be a leader. It's also important to state that leadership is about influence. Influence. The more you are influencing people, the more you are likely to lead them. And of course, when you influence people positively, there are chances that they will follow you dedicatedly. When you influence them positively, they will follow you committedly. And so, friends, viewers, fans at home, or wherever you're watching us from, please try to be a leader. And of course, leadership will speak better for you, even as you ensure that you are making sure that the next person is not just a leader by theory, it's a leader by example. And with that talk on leadership, we're having an interesting story here from the leadership newspaper. Ironically, we're starting with the leadership newspaper with an interesting headline which says X ECOWAS caught VP faults EFCC's press conference on Yahaya Bello. Ex-ECOWAS caught VP faults EFCC's press conference on Yahaya Bello. Now the news in detail. The former vice president of the ECOWAS Court of Justice, Professor Nwoke Friday Chijoke, has spoken out against the press conference conducted by the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, particularly in relation to his discussion of Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State here in Nigeria. Speaking on politics today, a program on Channels Television, Chijoke criticized the EFCC's approach, denouncing it as an unfair trial and labeling it as a form of media trial. In case you don't really know, the concept of media trial is when a certain person's actions, certain person's activities is brought into the media space and is perceived to be judged by people in the media space, is perceived to be found guilty already by people through their comments, through their actions in the media space. He stressed the importance of discretion in such matters, emphasizing that institutions of justice like the EFCC should conduct investigations discreetly without involving the media. The EFCC's chairman's press conference of yesterday was really uncalled for. That is unfair trial. All these challenges are because of what I would call a media trial. An institution of justice should be in a position, especially when you are the investigator, to carry out a discreet investigation. You do not need to involve the media. For example, the EFCC chairman interview yesterday was really uncalled for. It was uncalled for in the sense that you do not need to accord any special privilege to Yahaya Bello. And of course, details of that can be seen in the Leadership newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And away from there, we move over to the Punch newspaper with the bold headline, Malaria Day, Nigerians lament 23% hike in anti-malaria drug price. Wow. Malaria Day, Nigerians lament 23% hike in anti-malaria drug price. Now the news in detail. Nigeria joined the rest of the world to commemorate World Malaria Day on Thursday, 25th April 2024, with patients lamenting the about 23% rise in the cost of anti-malaria medications between November 2023 and April 2024. Though the federal government said it was taking steps for intervention, Nigerians still grapple with the high cost of prices of drugs, including anti-malaria drugs. World Malaria Day is commemorated every year on the 25th of April and recognizes global efforts to control malaria, with the theme this year as accelerating the fight against malaria for a more equitable world. Findings by our correspondents show that the prices of some anti-malaria drugs increased between 12% and 23% from November 2023 to April 2024. In November, an isotonic injection of 120 milligram was sold for 2,500 naira. The 60 milligram of the injection was sold for 1,800 naira. Coartem 80/480 was 3,300 naira. Amatem soft gel was 2,500 naira, with Lonat 80 per 480 milligrams sold for 2,850 naira. However, in April 2024, a market survey shows that artesunate 120 milligram is about 2,800 naira. 60 milligram of the injection being sold for 2,000 naira. Coartem 80 by 480 is now 4,000 naira. Amatem soft gel 3,000 naira, and Lonat 80 by 480 milligram is being sold for 3,500 naira. A school teacher, Amino Yusuf, lamented that the hike in anti-malaria drugs had become unbearable, calling for the government's intervention. The details of that can be seen in the Punch newspaper this morning. Please get yourself a copy. And of course, just before we continue, it's important that you know that prevention is better than cure. Why wait till you get malaria? as a sickness. You could prevent it. Personal hygiene, take care of your gutters, clean up your gutters, clean up your environment. You must make sure that your environment is super clean. You should try to fleet using pesticides to take care of the mosquitoes already in the environment. Then, of course, you get mosquito nets. You build mosquito nets. You have what do you call nets to your doors, nets to your windows, and try not to leave your doors ajar so that mosquitoes don't fly in, even if you have made so much effort to eradicate mosquitoes. And of course, try to build your immune system. Take a lot of fruits and avoid entering under the rain so you don't catch a cold. And away from there, we move over to the Daily Trust newspaper with the interesting headline: Ondo APC primary, Ganduje, aggrieved aspirants meeting ends in deadlock. Ondo APC primary, Ganduje, aggrieved aspirants meeting ends in deadlock. Now the news in detail. The maiden meeting between the national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and aggrieved aspirants in last Saturday's primary election in Ondo State ended in a deadlock yesterday, with party officials stating that dialogue would continue. Recall that the Governor Usman Ahmed Ododo-led APC primary election committee had announced Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa as the winner of the primary held on 20 and 21st April 2024, respectively. Aiyedatiwa defeated 15 other aspirants who contested the primary to emerge as a candidate of the party APC ahead of the November 16 governorship election in the state. But 6 aspirants, including the senator representing Ondo South, Jimo Ibrahim, Olushola Oke, Folakemi Omogore, Olugbenga Idema, Jimmy Odimayo, and Wale Akinterinwa, had filed petitions challenging Aiyedatiwa's victory. Details of that can be seen in the Daily Trust. Please get yourself a copy. And away from the Daily Trust, we move over to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper has this interesting headline: Jailbreak. Federal government pledges to relocate a lot of correctional centers. Jailbreak. Federal government pledges to relocate a lot of correctional centers. Now the news in detail. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubumi Tunji Ojo said on Thursday that the government will relocate a lot of correctional centers to create better space, security, and infrastructure. Tunji Ojo made the pledge when he visited Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center, where 119 inmates escaped following a rainstorm that damaged the facility on Wednesday. This is contained in a statement issued in Abuja by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Mr. Ozoya Imohemi. The minister said it was imperative to relocate a lot of the correctional centers to conducive environment. This facility was built in 1914 to house 250 inmates. Before this incident, we had 499 inmates in a facility that was built in 1914. This is a testimony to what we keep talking about, the overcrowding of our correctional centers. You can look at the environment. It shows that we need to relocate them away from city centers to create better space, better security, and better infrastructure, he added. According to him, the ministry is for all. Tunji Ojo assured that such incident would not happen again in any other facility across the country. This could have been avoided if the right information was disseminated at the appropriate time on this structure. You want more details of that, please grab yourself a copy and check out the details yourself. And away from there, we move quickly to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust has another interesting headline: Bandits attack Zomi Imia's palace, kill 3. What a tragic one. Bandits attack Zomi Imia's palace, kill 3. Bandits have attacked the palace of the Emir of Zumi Alhaji Bello Muhammad Bunu, killing 3 people and abducting some residents of the town. The bandits, who stormed the town around 10 p.m. on Wednesday, according to the locals, also attacked the residence of the former military administrator of Nasarawa State, Colonel Bala Muhammad Mande, retired. While Colonel Mande, a former Minister of Environment under Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, was not in the house, Emir Bunu was in the palace when the bandits launched the attack, Daily Trust learned. During the attack, the bandits also destroyed a GSM mast and burned two generating sets located adjacent the Emir's palace. A resident of the town who pleaded anonymity told our reporter that upon their arrival in the town, the bandits went straight to the Emir's place and opened fire at the entrance gate in their efforts to gain access. He said, gladly, the gate was locked. Otherwise, they would have gained access into the palace and probably reached the Emir's apartment. He was the main target because they attempted to kidnap him not long ago. In fact, he just returned to the town on Monday after the first attempt to kidnap him failed. The emir was silently moved to the state capital, Gusau, where he spent a week there, the source said. Another resident who also did not want to be named said, when the bandits failed to gain access to the palace, they moved to the residence of the former military administrator and fired several shots at the gate, thereby damaging it. On their way out of the town, they killed 3 people and abducted some others. We don't know the number of people abducted because when the bandits started shooting, residents ran into the bush for safety. No one dared stay back when the bandits were firing shots. The magnitude of the gunshots were scary, hence we all ran into the bush for our dear lives. We are calling on the government to provide enough soldiers in the town because the bandits may return again since they know the emir is in town. All they want is to abduct the emir and we don't know why they want to kidnap him, the resident said. Another resident, Muhammad Inuwa, said he was planning to relocate his family to Gusau as he could not endure the trauma the residents were going through due to attacks by armed bandits. He said, I am tired. We are struggling to cope with the economic situation and at the same time battling with banditry. The burden is too much for us to show that I cannot bear it anymore. I'm contemplating relocating my family to Gusau. At least if they're in the state capital, I can have peace of mind and concentrate on my menial job, he said. What a sad one there. We hope that the authorities will, of course, find a way to tame the situation. And last but not the least, we're looking at a very interesting bold headline here. Navy relocates training base from Lagos to Rivers. Punch newspaper, Navy relocates training base from Lagos to Rivers. Now the news in detail. The Nigerian Navy said it has concluded arrangements to relocate the Naval Training Command headquarters from Lagos to One in Rivers State. Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala disclosed this when he led a delegation of top officers of the Navy High Command on a courtesy visit to Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara at Government House, Port Harcourt on Thursday. Ogala described that the Nigerian Navy and Rivers State as conjoined twins who cannot do without each other. He stated, the purpose of my coming here today is threefold. The first is to inform His Excellency that on Saturday, we are graduating a set of former civilians who had been trained at our basic training school on there and are graduating to join the ranks of the Nigerian Navy as ratings in order to beef up our strength. The second reason is to first appreciate the governor and the entire Rivers State government for the schools they donated to us. The ambassador Nne Grubo Model Secondary School at Eleme in the Eleme local government area and the Model Secondary School Igbelu in the Igbo local government area. We also want to use the opportunity to inform His Excellency that following that donation and based on our strategic plan of moving our facilities to areas where we have enough space to be able to carry out our duties, we have renovated the school at Eleme. We are happy to report today that the elsewhere location of headquarters of Naval Training Command Lagos is moving to that particular school location in Eleme tomorrow. Ogala said the Navy had in recent times made commendable strides in its fight against crimes following a charge by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said the Nigerian Navy under his watch had impounded 14 vessels caught with stolen crude oil, adding that several arrests were made. I'm here today to report, sir, that with Operation Delta Sanity launched in January 2024, we have been very, very successful, and within the period, we have recorded tremendous successes and achievements. Over 14 large crude-carrying vessels have been arrested within that period. Most of them are at various levels of investigations. We have also arrested several barges and other companies and organizations that are involved in oil theft. As a result of the operations, we are happy to report that there have been tremendous improvements in terms of security in the maritime environment, Ogala added. Governor Fubara, in his response, encouraged the Nigerian Navy to be firm in the fight against all forms of economic sabotage, particularly crude oil theft in the nation's waterways. The governor noted with delight the positive results already recorded by the Navy in the state, due largely to the tremendous support it has received from his administration. And that's where we wrap it up on the G9ijaTV news headlines this morning. And please remember, on leadership, you must know that once you have the power to influence someone else, you are a leader. So when you go out this weekend, please ensure that you exert positive influence. Make someone do something that is right. Make someone become good. Let others become good because of you. That is the basic form of leadership. Leadership is about influence, and of course, positive influence is what we teach here, we speak about here in G9ijaTV. Please join us same time, same station, same place tomorrow. I'm your host, Dr. Champion. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.